Controversial statement here, Pina Colada fans, but I don't think you should ever make the cocktail using Jamaican rum. For me, the Pina Colada is all about staying true to its authenticity, and that's a Puerto Rican or at a stretch maybe a Cuban rum, those lighter styles of rum. I really don't think heavier pot still blended rums suit the Pina Colada. Now that is a statement that I do believe in. I have said that, I proclaimed that in the last video where I dissected the Pina Colada. However, I do like to back myself and actually prove myself wrong in some occasions. So this video, I'm going to be blind tasting 6 different Pina Coladas using different rums to find out, am I right? What rum should you really use in a Pina Colada? What rum makes the Pina Colada taste the best? So let's run you through the runners and riders very, very quickly. Don Q Gold. As I explained in the previous video, this for me is the be all and end all in the Pina Colada. I love it. You could step up a little Bacardi 4-year-old. You could go even like Bacardi 8 or Don Q 7, but I just like those lighter, younger rums, but with a lightly touch of sort of aging, minimal touch of vanilla-y aging. So this is kind of my, I was going to say entry level there, but I don't mean entry level. I mean kind of base layer. This is for me the Pina Colada all over. But you know what? I am a big fan of the Plantation 3 stars as well. So this is coming out into the mix. Now this has got some aged rum in it, but it is also a blend of 3 different rums. You've got your Jamaica, your Barbados and your Trinidad in there. So while this won't mimic exactly the profiles of like El Dorado, a 3-year-old, for example, or Dawley's 3-year-old rums, this is kind of the rum that I've kind of put out to kind of, you know, lead that category, if you like. I think with its vanilla notes and its tropical notes, I think this will be a good representation without doing 20 rums in this test of those styles. Next up, I wanted a representative of a Jamaican funky rum. You know, unless you're like won the lottery, you're never really going to use Hamden 8-year-olds in cocktails. This Worthy Park Select, I've proclaimed the king of Jamaica for its price, for its taste, for like, in cocktail world I'm talking here. I'm not talking neat sipping world before you go down that route. I'm talking cocktail world. I really do think this is the king of Jamaica in that it's just everything you want. Maybe a touch higher ABV. It's only 40. I'm not saying 50 or 60 or anything like that, just a little bit more. But for me, there's nothing to rival this at the moment. So this will give you a really cheap Jamaican rum that tastes great, but with like real good, decent funk behind it. But then I couldn't do this video without the Appleton Signature as well. While it is Jamaican, it doesn't even remotely come close to that funk that you kind of want in there, but it is a solid all-round mixing rum. You know, it would be naive of me not to include this in this rum because they are not like for like. They are not kind of replacing each other. This for me is a fantastic mixing rum and could actually play really well in this cocktail. Now the 5th candidate, I've gone for a St. Lucian rum here, Chairman's Reserve Original. I kind of do think that this is, you know, the kind of category leader for like the Mount Gay Eclipse, for the cheaper Barbados rums as well. I firmly believe, and again, this is another controversial statement, that right at this moment, St. Lucia is doing Barbados rum better. That's just it. Price-wise, taste-wise, you know, the excitement that's coming out of St. Lucia at the moment, I really do think this. So for me, this would be, you know, it would be on a 11 player field with this, but I can't think of a Barbados rum at the price point that would put in this category. It just smashed it. So this is that rum that represents those kind of lightly aged pot column blended rums, if you like, even to a certain extent, like your El Dorado 5-year-olds, maybe the Guyanese rums, but this is what I've picked to represent all those rums. And then the final rum, again, you might think this is a little bit biased, but I'm going to stand by it. St. Lucia are doing really phenomenal rums at the moment. Now I've picked Bounty Dark Rum, which is the cheaper version of St. Lucia, of Chairman's Reserve here. And this would be my rum to go across like the Myers category, the Plantation OD category, those kind of rums. This is, I wouldn't say in this true sense of like Goslings or like the Worthy 109, those really sort of dark rums that have been like really heavily charred barrels. I just think this is the pick of the rums in that category. So look, a couple of things before we get started here in this blind tasting. Firstly, are any of these rums going to make a bad pina colada? Hell no. If any of these pina coladas don't score at least a 7 out of 10, there is something wrong with my palate, because these will be phenomenal rums and I would expect all of these to work. I'm just saying, I'm just asking myself a question. Is there like a leader? Is there a better style of rum? So these are great rums. There's a reason I've got them all. It's that simple. The second thing to know, I just like to be open and honest here. I've made a batch of pina colada mix. And then, because I know how much has gone into that, I've then put 15 ml of each rum into these glasses and then kind of batched the equivalent of what I need of the pina colada mix into there. Yes, I've made a mess because I'm the world's most messiest barman these days, but then Mummy Barman has been in here and swapped these all up, so I've got no idea of which ones are which. But just so you know, right now, number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, number 6, and the numbers are on the bottom of the glasses. So I'm going to start down this end. This will be my number 1. This is going to be really hard. I know this is going to be really hard, because that's really decent. I drink that all day long. That's a really good pina colada. It's not until I get through a few of them where you might notice a few subtle differences, but it's a lovely, again, I would say this is probably like a bit more aged rum, because there's a lovely sort of vanilla-iness that's coming through here. But that could also lead to the Plantation 3 stars. I don't know, because there's quite a bit of vanilla and tropical fruits off it. It's a delicious pina colada. Oh, again, this is really delicious. However, I prefer that one. That's got a little bit too much onto it. And actually, it's not this right. So here we're going straight away, because this one I would say is beautifully balanced. Nothing punches out. Whereas this one, whatever the rum is in there, that's really making the pineapple punch out. Now, bearing in mind, these are all exactly the same ratios, and bearing in mind, it's exactly the same mix that's gone into all of these. It's not 6 different mixes, it's one mix. To make a pineapple punch out more in this one than that one, that means the rum is at play there. Now, I love pineapple, obviously. I love coconut, obviously. But if I want a pina colada, I want it straight down the line. So while this is really, really tasty still, don't get me wrong, you know, I'm not slating it at all. I would quite happily pay money for it. I'm preferring that one slightly, because that is just beautifully balanced. Now, number 3, that is interesting. That's got a lot more on it, and that is completely unbalanced for how I want a pina colada. I'm almost going to the point, oh no, it's not that funky. It's got, I think, if I had a hunch at any of these, I think that's the worthy selects, because that's just screaming out banana-y funk kind of vibes in there. And too much for me. It's more of a hard work. It's delicious, but it's more of a hard work pina colada. I know that if I've got a bar open to the general masses, I know that that pina colada is going to sell more than what that pina colada is. Now the 4th one, again, again, it's a great pina colada. It tastes stronger, but these are all 40% rums. That just tastes a lot stronger. It's a lot more rummy. And it was definitely exactly the same amount, 15 ml of rum gone into each of these. Exactly the same amount of mix. That just tastes more rummy, more heavy work. I don't know. I potentially might go think this is Chairman's Reserve in here. It could be the Dark. I think that is one of these 3. Let's put it like that. I just think, again, that one's going to outsell this one. That's the best way to describe it. And do you know what? I actually think I prefer that one over this one. That's for me. Actually, I said that I said at face value, there's not going to be a bad pina colada here. Whatever that is, I would not use that in a pina colada. Or I would dial it back. Dial the rum back just very, very slightly, maybe. Instead of a 60 ml equivalent measure, I'd maybe go 45. But that for me is just not working. It's just punching out too much. But remember, this is a beach cocktail, and you don't want it to go all tiki fines. You don't want it to be hard work. You just want to sit back, relax, and you're probably going to drink 3 or 4 of these. That's just hard work, that one. Right, the 5th one. Let's have a dive into this one. Oh, now that's exactly where I want a pina colada to be. That is lovely. Oh, which one? I'm going to come back to that, but that's definitely up there at the moment. That is really well balanced. Get a lovely little bit of vanilla-iness coming off that. Bit of coconut, pineapple, the rum is all there harmoniously. That's definitely up there with that one. I'm going to give you a winner. I'm not going to sit on the fence, but that is definitely light years above those three. Right, and then the final one. Oh, again, that's nice. That's really nice as well. Right, so I'm discounting these three, and that is definitely my last place. So what I'm going to do just behind there, that's last, and they're in that order. So that one's, so that's 6th place. This is 5th place, and this one's 4th place going behind there. So then it's just these three to go back to. Do you know what? That's absolutely delicious. That is really, really good. That. I'm going to struggle to split those two. Oh, I'm really going to struggle to split those two. There were slight differences, but I like them both equally. Let's go for this one. I would put, now, what I want to emphasise, this is what, 4th place. There is a big gulf between 4th place and 3rd place. Big gulf. It's not like these are negligible and these are negligible. There is a huge dividing line there. I couldn't even begin to pick what these three are. All I'm going to say is that I think they're slightly lighter rums. This is delicious. Just purely because I like these two better, I think I'm putting that one in 3rd place, but that's a massively big recommendation. And then between these two, I don't think I can split them. The only thing I can possibly say is that that's got a little bit more, I don't know how to describe it. They're both really up there in kind of vanilla. They're not overpowering at all. They're both beautifully balanced pina coladas. It's just a very slightly different. I would say this one is slightly fruitier. That's how I'm going to put it. This one is slightly fruitier. This one is just bang straight down the line, exactly how you would expect to get a pina colada if you're in Puerto Rico. I think my favourite is actually this one. But, you know, if that's literally, if that's a 9.8 out of 10, that's a 9.7. It is literally negligible. It's definitely not a 9 and an 8, not even remotely close to that. That for me is like a 9.8. That has to be a 9.7. I think I'm sneaking with this one. The great big reveal. I'm now going to prove to you that Dominican Republic rum is the rum that you should use, especially that Don Q Gold is the rum that you should use in your pina coladas. That's one. It's obviously one. I genuinely don't know. I have no idea. It's going to be funny, isn't it? Right, let's go. In 6th place, number 2. Wow, Plantation 3. I'm not liking that. I'm really not. Compared to them, that shocks me a lot. That has really shocked me. Yeah, wow. Mind blown. I'll be honest, I expected that to be up here somewhere. I expected that to give the Don Q a run for its money. I really did. Wow. On that bombshell. Number 5. Number 3. Worthy Park. Ah, that's the one yes. That's the one I thought was the Jamaican rum. Definitely. You can't mistake that. That is... You cannot mistake that funkiness that comes off that. It's a cracking drink. Do you know what? I'd say that there was a big gulf between there and a big gulf there. That's really surprised me, what that is. I still think these three are light years behind that, but that is a big improvement on what that is. That's really bizarre. So, where where do we go? That's there. That's there. Right. In fourth place then, number 4. Oh, it's number 4. 1, 2, 3 is Appleton Signature. Interesting. Doesn't surprise me. Right, in third place then, number 5. Chairman's. Oh, wow. Bounty. Oh, hello. It's 1. Of course it's 1. You know, of course it's 1. Right. So, let's put these to one side for a second. So, the great big reveal. Obviously, it is around in the wrong way. Of course they are. That has to have won. It does. There's no way that can be that. But, so this was first place. This was second place. Coming down the line there. My second placed rum is number 1. Wow, that was there. Wow. So that means that must be number. Oh, what am I doing? Sorry, I'm looking at that. That's number 6. Number 6 won it. Wow, that has surprised me. Not that that's a brilliant rum. The biggest surprise here for me, like it is in the massive, massive shock for me, the Plantation 3 stars was right down there. I never would have thought that in a million years. I genuinely wouldn't. I kind of expected these to be sort of around the middle mark. You know, that was no shock to me. The shock for me has been that has beaten that. That is the big outtake for this video. You know, that is, wow. I think, oh. That's a stunning pina colada. It really is. Like lovely, fruity. Oh. Wow. I'm genuinely speechless about that. 5 aged rums have beaten Plantation 3 stars. As a white rum, I totally expected to be up there. Totally expected. So the best rum to use for a pina colada is not Donkey Gold, it's this Bounty. But I tell you what, you know, it just goes to show that actually these, for me and the mass market, the stuff like this, I should have put Bacardi 4 and stuff like that in this tasting as well. But, you know, these styles of rums are going to be better for mass market than your pop. To be fair, oh, forgotten. Is this, I think this is a blend actually, but this is more, that's the interesting one because that's column still. And these are, I think this is a higher, I think this is a blend of pot and column, but it actually is majority column in there. And I think that's the thing. There's a lot more higher blend of pot still in these rums than there are these. What do you think? If you're still watching, get that pineapple emoji or the coconut emoji rocking. Put the coconut emoji in the comments below. And then again, let me know your favourite rum. Have you done a blind tasting? Remember, I see comments all the time that this is the best and that's the best and you should use that. Until you do a blind tasting, you know, you really don't know. You think you know, but until you do it blind, until you get rid of all your senses that you don't know what you're drinking, that is when your true opinions really come out. I love flipping blind tastings. If you want to, mainly on my other channel, the blue channel, but if you want to give me any suggestions for other blind tastings, get involved in the comments below.